The Thought Police have taken a meat cleaver to some of the best-loved children's stories of all time. Literally hundreds and hundreds of words and phrases have been cut or completely rewritten. Now, as always, the idea was to make them less offensive. They weren't offensive to start with. The offensive thing is their removal. And as ever, the result is now, of course, more offensive to every sensible human being on the planet than anything Dahl himself wrote in his books. In James and the Giant Peach, for example, the cloud men are now cloud people, presumably to avoid upsetting non-binary clouds. The Oompa Loompas in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory were described by Dahl as small men, but now they're simply small people, just in case any of the small men wanted to become small women or small non-binaries. In Fantastic Mr. Fox, a line describing it's probably my favourite, describing tractors as black has been deleted because apparently it's just mentioning the colour of an object like a tractor is now racially charged. In The Witches, a chambermaid is now a cleaner. There's a disclaimer explaining that. While the witches are bald, there's nothing wrong with being bald. Augustus Gloop, Willy Wonka's fabled glutton, can't be described as fat. Several other fat characters, ranging from a fat brown mouse to fat Aunt Sponge, are also spared this appalling body shaming in the new editions. But you can say enormous, apparently, as if somehow being enormous or being called enormous is less offensive than just being called fat. Well, Matilda's Miss Trunchbull no longer has a great horsey face, even though her face does resemble a horse. Now it's just a face, presumably to avoid upsetting any horses that might watch this or read it. The mothers and fathers of the school children are now just parents, not mothers and fathers. That's offensive. In the Twits, what a perfect name, by the way, for all of this, Mrs. Twit isn't ugly and beastly anymore. She's just beastly. Because every woman would be quite happy being called a beast, just don't call them ugly.